Now, that rounds out PAC News. Now, let's get straight into our interview for this evening. As we said, we've got the East Tiger and the Melbourne Rebel superstar himself, Brad Wilkin, joining us on the blower. Brad, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
No, it's our pleasure, Brad, mate. I want to ask you, obviously, we saw the results earlier on over the weekend, a pretty heavy defeat at the hand of the Blues, but, I mean, how's the morale there after what was sort of a very, very tough week for you guys?
Yeah, obviously it's a pretty disappointing result. Going over to Auckland and playing over there, it's never easy. And then, they're a really good informed side, and we just didn't show up. So it's pretty disappointing. We've had a few days off since the game, and we go in tomorrow. So I'm sure it'll be a very spicy review.
Wilco, mate, Dos here. After a result like that, they're never the reviews that you want to come in on. I know everyone's a bit nervous to walk into training on a Monday. So, mate, we won't talk about the game. I want to talk a bit about you. Obviously, a pretty extensive injury history. You've missed a fair few games through knee recons, shoulder recons, and a few hamstring niggles. We caught up before you went down to Melbourne, and I just want to know. And mate, and to be fair, you've been playing outstanding this year. You know, you're a shining light at the Rebels on the weekend. Mate, your breakdown pressure's been tremendous. You're really throwing your body into contact. You've been durable. Has there been a change in anything that you've done in the preseason, or something that you're doing differently with your recovery to help you back up and put these consistent performances together?
Well, firstly, Dos, it was good to chat to you around all that stuff, because obviously yourself, you've had a few injuries, and even Quirky, you can see him there. I've reached out to him a few times. It's not unfamiliar territory, I guess, for a few guys. So, I guess pre-season we sort of just took it a little bit slower than normal. Sort of took a moderate, controlled approach to my training, and it was more just me being aware of my body a bit more now, and having those experiences, you learn how your body sort of is tracking, and just being a little bit smarter around some of my decisions around training, and seeking some sort of outside help with the mental side of the game. I think that plays a big role in injuries, especially. So I think just getting the mind right, and being in a good headspace around that goes a long way to sort of keeping you fit and healthy, I guess.
Yeah.
Wilco was asking me about being a redhead and actually how to stay alive and survive in a real world. Nothing to do with rugby, so it wasn't interesting.
Plenty of sunscreen was here.
Yeah, Melbourne is crazy. With weather. So, mate, that's all it was about. So it's good to see you still kicking, Wilco.
Brad, Dallin here, mate. Obviously, you're down in Melbourne. You've been a part of a few programs now. Tell us a little bit about the culture down there, and how it's different to where you've been previously. And obviously, you started the year a bit slow, but you started to find your rhythm a little bit. Previous to the weekend, what's the culture like down there, and how's it been?
Yeah, like I said, we started the season pretty slow, and I felt like the last 5 games, well, apart from the Blues game, we'd had 3 wins in the last 5, and we're just sort of starting to gain a bit of confidence in how we wanted to play. Obviously, new attack coach, new coach from last year, obviously with Dave leaving halfway through the year kind of thing, throws a lot of sort of curveballs around. So, just getting used to a new system, I think was probably the big challenge early rounds. And then in terms of culture, we've got a really good group of boys there that all get along and enjoy playing with each other. It's just a matter of being able to translate having good relationships off the field and putting those into performances on the field, which that's the tough one at the moment.
Wilco, mate. Look, we're talking about the big loss and that, and I said before to the boys, I've been a part of a few big losses in my time over in Japan. You said you had a couple of days off. What did you guys get up to over that time? And you said you had a good bunch of boys, a good culture. Is it really player-driven in regards to this next day of training that's coming up in the review, or is it more coach-driven? With such a big loss, and like, how are you guys going to sort of amend what happened and cruise into the next week with this stride in your step?
Yeah. So we thought it was pretty important that we sort of, do the review process quite thoroughly, and us players sort of took it on ourselves to do our own sort of review and send in clips of to our coaches. So the players definitely have sort of taken a bit more of a ownership on how we want to go about trying to learn from the weekend and start the week on the right foot. So I'm sure there'll be some things tomorrow, but everyone's sort of taking their own sort of accountability towards the performance on the weekend. So
a good lock-in sort of fixes things as well. If we're going to be honest.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, does that still happen, Wilco? In my era, which was a long time ago, if we had a shit loss like this, we'd probably just go out and bash ourselves for 2 days and just completely forget about it. But obviously that doesn't happen anymore. How hard has travelling and away games been to adjust again after COVID? Is it hard or just straight back into it?
Yeah, it's something different, and obviously, we had 2 6-day turnarounds and then one with travel. So, and there's a little bit going around in Melbourne at the moment in terms of sickness. So, the boys weren't completely fully healthy. So, yeah, I think a few days off this weekend has been good to sort of try and refresh and try and bring on the Chiefs this weekend.
Brad, I feel like you've been around forever. Obviously, you played a lot of footy, even though you've had a few injuries. What's the next couple of years look like for you? Do you have any big aspirations or goals, or is it just continuing doing what you're doing down there? What's the next couple of years look like?
I'm sort of enjoying my time down in Melbourne at the moment, and obviously playing consistently helps with that. It gets hard when you're on the sidelines, not really playing that much, but just really enjoying playing consistent rugby and just trying to compete and play my best kind of footy each week. And I feel like I'm starting to get like more and more confident the more footy I play. So hopefully building on that next year. I'm not exactly sure where I'll be, but loving my time in Melbourne, and I'm sort of in the process of sort of figuring out where I'll be next year. So we'll have to keep an eye on it.
Wilco, mate, I'm loving your little teased out mullet poking out the back there. How good is it? Is that you trying to get into the Burn Boys with Pone and Robbie the owner and stuff? It's looking sick, man. It needs to get a bit. When they get real sweaty and they jiggle their hair and it goes everywhere. You don't necessarily have that at the moment, but is this your little stepping stone to get in with the Burn Boys?
Oh, yeah, you could say that. I reckon I was probably one of the originals with the mullet, and then they just took it to a whole new different level.
Didn't they? Oh, mate,
I chickened out and cut it. I've cut mine a few times, so, yeah.
This is the first time I've seen Quirky with a short back and sides. He's had it his whole career.
Japan's changed him, Gorko. Japan's changed him.
Sorry, mate. I'm a salary man in Japan.
Yeah, because you're working on the line.
Yeah. No hair.
Safety
No
issues.
hair above the collar.
Wilco, mate, before you go, is there? You're obviously a very passionate Tiger man. Is there a chance that we'll see you after the Super Rugby season's done, assuming you don't get called up for higher honours?
I think there'd be a good chance. I hope. I was wondering if Quirky will be throwing the boots on.
Oh, good question.
Well, they are short of 12, so Wilco, we could be on, mate. Imagine two redheads running around back at East
12
again.
and 13.
Jeez, that gets me furry.
Well, maybe if Quirky throws the boots on, you might see me around Tigerland at the end of the year.
There we go. A bit of incentive. I love
Let's do it. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Wilco, thanks so much for joining us, brother. We wish you all the best for the rest of the season. You've been absolutely killing it on a personal level. The Rebels are starting to really kick some serious goals. So, mate, all the best with it, my brother.
No, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Wonderful.
Thanks, Brad.